everyone, welcome back to Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. My name's Alice and today is Friday, so it's going to be a Friday Reads. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. If you're new here, I am slowly reading my way through an epic TBR of over 200 books. And this is my cat Harry. Hi Harry, you come in for some Friday Reads? Yeah, should we do some reading? Okay, so this week I had a bit of a break from BookTube in the early half of the week, and I was lucky enough to go away for a few days to my dad's house, and it was lovely to have a break, and it's meant that I haven't done as much reading as I normally would because I was still at my dad's on Monday and Tuesday and there wasn't really very much time for reading at all. So there has definitely been a break from reading. I fell a little bit behind on my buddy read, but got back on track in the later half of the week. So the book I would like to mainly talk about today is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I read this as a buddy read with the lovely Shelley Swearingen, and I will mention her channel in the description down below so that you can go and check it out. We've been buddy reading this together for the last couple of weeks, and this week we were due to finish it on originally Tuesday, then Wednesday, and I actually finished it yesterday. So Shelley, if you're watching, I am really sorry for the delays, but I didn't realise how little I was going to read while I was away. So I absolutely loved this book. I was expecting to enjoy it because I had watched the Hitchcock adaptation a long time ago, and I had always kind of got it into my head that I had actually read the book as well, which it turns out that I hadn't. Because I thought that I had read this before, I recently watched the Lily James adaptation of it on Netflix. At first, when I was reading this, that was a little bit of a problem for me because I'd watched it so recently that it seemed like it was going to spoil the book a little bit. But as I got into Daphne du Maurier's writing style, which is pretty immediate, the writing style is fantastic, I realised that neither film could fully capture the scale of this writing. I was so taken aback by just the detailed descriptions of nature that occur throughout the book. We're launched straight into the very famous opening, "Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again." And we're treated to a glorious description of nature taking over, and the nameless protagonist, just her narration was fascinating throughout. She's definitely a character who's a dreamer and goes off into her own head with her thoughts, and we get to witness all of those thoughts, which is really interesting. Manderley itself is such a presence that you'd probably describe it as the book's main character, to be honest. Come here. Why are you on the tripod? Are you helping? You want to sit with us in the video? Right, anyway, let's talk about the book some more. What was I up to? Manderley is such a presence in the book that I would almost describe it as the main character in the book. It's huge, and its presence is only matched by the continued presence in the house of the eponymous Rebecca. Rebecca is the first Mrs. de Winter, and our narrator is Maxim de Winter's second wife, and she never gets named. She is told early on in a chapter that she has a very interesting name, but we never get to hear it, so she's just referred to as Mrs. de Winter. So Rebecca's continuing presence in the house overshadows and overawes the narrator pretty much throughout, and For me, the absolute highlights of Rebecca were the nature. The descriptions of the nature in the book were just absolutely impeccable. I also enjoyed the afternoon teas, which were described in great detail quite frequently and made me very hungry. I loved the reveal, and then I loved the suspense of the final twists and turns of this brilliant, brilliant book. I was very pleasantly surprised to find that I really enjoy Daphne du Maurier's writing style. I was hoping that I would really like her, and it turned out that I really did. So I do have 3 more of her books to read, and I am excited to get onto them really soon. I've been recommended to read My Cousin Rachel. I've also been recommended Jamaica Inn, and I think I've been recommended Frenchman's Creek. So I have all of those 3 covered, and I also have some short stories to get to of hers, so I can't wait to read more of her writing. And I really enjoyed my 2 weeks with Rebecca and talking to Shelley about it. That was my main read of this week. The only other thing that I've read anything of this week was one of my books from my TBR that I wasn't looking forward to reading, which was No Time for Goodbye by Linwood Barclay. I started this either at the same time as Rebecca or just after, and I've read 7 chapters now. I've only actually read one of those chapters this week, probably less. So far it's okay, it's an alright thriller. I am kind of hooked in by the mystery, but I'm not so far really caring about the characters very much. I'm not sure I like the narrator in this particularly. I mean, he's inoffensive, but it's not really doing a lot for me. But I have only given it 7 chapters, so I will keep going with this one. I'll probably read this over the weekend, and I might also start over the weekend to read the Agatha Christie autobiography I've been looking forward to so much. So that's all really for me from Friday Reads this week. It was my first Friday read, so if I've done it wrong, please let me know in the comments down below. And do let me know what you've been reading this week and whether it was any good. This has been a very Harry heavy video, so apologies if I couldn't get my words out because there was a cat in the way. I hope you've enjoyed this Friday Reads, and I will see you again soon for another video all about books here on Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. Bye for now.